Welcome back. Now, the government, the opposition and the Speaker presented a familiar picture on the second day of the Delhi Assembly. But the only difference being that as far as Delhi Assembly is concerned, the people who were being marshalled out were the Aam Aadmi Party MLAs, and the one who was marshalled out several times earlier as a BJP MLA today presided over the proceedings of the House as the Speaker. The Delhi Assembly session has been extended for 2 additional days after the session witnessed high drama. Delhi Assembly Speaker Vijendra Gupta suspended 21 Aam Aadmi Party MLAs, including Leader of the Opposition Atishi and Gopal Rai, from the Legislative Assembly for the whole day due to the sloganeering during LG's address. The Aam Aadmi Party MLAs were demanding reinstatement of Baba Saheb Ambedkar and Bhagat Singh photo in the Chief Minister's office. The suspended Aam Aadmi Party MLAs were escorted outside the House. The MLAs then staged a protest outside the House, and in a sharp attack against the BJP, Atishi asked the BJP if Prime Minister Modi is above B.R. Ambedkar for them.
ये CAG रिपोर्ट उसी बात को दोहरा रही है जो आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार ने बार बार कहा कि ओल्ड एक्साइज पॉलिसी से दिल्ली के सरकारी खजाने को, एक्सचेकर को लॉस हो रहा है। ना सिर्फ इतना, इस पॉलिसी की वजह से लगातार स्मगलिंग होके दारू, शराब दिल्ली में आ रही थी। कहां से आ रही थी? उत्तर प्रदेश से आ रही थी, हरियाणा से आ रही थी। सब जानते हैं कि किस पार्टी की सरकार वहां पे है। CAG की रिपोर्ट ने इस बात को साबित कर दिया है कि आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार ने ओल्ड एक्साइज पॉलिसी को हटाकर सही फैसला लिया। CAG रिपोर्ट बताती है कि जो नई एक्साइज पॉलिसी थी, इंक्रीज्ड ट्रांसपेरेंसी थी, उसमें ब्लैक मार्केट सेल्स को कर्ब करने के तरीके थे और उसमें दिल्ली सरकार के रेवेन्यू को बढ़ाने के तरीके थे।
You cannot suppress our voice. The photo of Narendra Modi was placed in place of Baba Saheb. It cannot be tolerated, or we will raise our voice. Yesterday we raised our voice. Didn't get any direction from a speaker. Today we raised, we were thrown out.
So but
you may throw out, but you cannot suppress us.
So the BJP ministers are saying this is standard protocol to have the images of the head of state on at the backdrop of all the official offices, in fact.
No. We have placed Bhagat Singh portrait and Baba Saheb portrait. How dare you to just remove the portrait of Baba Saheb and placed Narendra Modi portrait in a very same place? What you understand? What you want to show? That Narendra Modi is now bigger than Baba Saheb.
It's 12 other MLAs have also been suspended. How do you react to that?
देखिए, जब आपके पास सवालों का जवाब नहीं हो और आप विधायकों को निष्कासित कर दें तो बड़ा आसान तरीका है। आप में अगर हिम्मत है तो आप हमारे सवालों के जवाब दें। हम कल से पूछ रहे हैं, बड़ा सिंपल सवाल है कि भगत सिंह जी की और बाबा साहब की फोटो आपने क्यों हटाई? इसका जवाब ही नहीं है इनके पास। इनको भगत सिंह जी की क्रांतिकारी सवाल पूछने वाली सोच से प्रॉब्लम है, इनको बाबा साहब की समानता वाली सोच से प्रॉब्लम है। उसका ये रिएक्शन देखो।
BJP is saying two things. First, that the pictures are in the office, and second, it is protocol to have the head of state behind the backdrop.
They are totally misguiding. आप अभी मेरे साथ चल सकते हैं, मुख्यमंत्री कार्यालय में कैमरा लेकर चले, वहाँ कोई फोटो नहीं लगी हुई और इनको परेशानी ही उनकी सोच से है। जब तक ये हमारे सवालों के जवाब नहीं देंगे, हम सवाल पूछते रहेंगे।
Do you think it is because of the CAG reports that were to be tabled? Do you think it's a plan? Are you saying it's a part of a pre-planned strategy by the Aam Aadmi Party?
See, they have already been avoiding this CAG report, as already they were the people who were to place this, because it is not the time was before that the CAG report should have been placed before the House. It was not done. Definitely there must be something which they want to avoid, and today also they have created this ruckus, I think only to be out of the House so that they do not face whatever there is in the CAG report.
Now, amid the Modi chants by the BJP MLAs, LG detailed Delhi government's priority, which includes corruption-free administration, cleaning of River Yamuna and the tackling of the pollution crisis.
मेरी सरकार ने मंत्रिमंडल की पहली बैठक में ही भारत के नियंत्रक एवं महालेखाक परीक्षक की रिपोर्टों को संविधान के पटल पर रखे जाने का निर्णय लिया है, जिससे पिछली सरकार की प्रशासनिक कमियों को जानने और उन्हें दूर करने का मार्ग प्रशस्त होगा। आने वाले कुछ महीनों में मेरी सरकार की पहली प्राथमिकता सड़कों, नालियों, सीवर लाइनों, स्वास्थ्य सुविधाओं तथा पीने के पानी की समस्याओं को दूर करने की होगी। साथ ही मेरी सरकार अब तक की लचर और भ्रष्ट प्रशासनिक व्यवस्था, जिसको विज्ञापनों के मायाजाल ने छुपा रखा था, उसे तत्काल प्रभाव से भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त कर सुदृढ़ और सुचारू बनाएगी।
Chief Minister Rekha Gupta tabled the CAG report, the previous liquor policy under Aam Aadmi Party administration. Citing High Court order on the CAG report, Speaker Vijendra Gupta slammed the Aam Aadmi Party. Contrary to the Aam Aadmi Party's claim, Gupta alleged that the CAG report was not sent to the LG in time.
साथियों, ये जो CAG की रिपोर्ट आज प्रस्तुत की जा रही है, वास्तविकता में एक भ्रांति फैलाई गई, जिसको मैं सदन के समक्ष स्पष्ट करना चाहता हूं कि ये रिपोर्ट स्पीकर को दे दी गई है, लेकिन हाई कोर्ट ने जो टिप्पणियां की है इस पूरे मामले में, उससे आपको स्पष्ट हो जाएगा कि सीएजी की रिपोर्ट को किस तरह से दबाया गया। हाई कोर्ट के फैसले में कहा गया 39, पैरा 39, it would be supervised of the constitutional mandate to withhold these reports from the legislature for an inordinately long period after the same have been forwarded by the CAG to the concerned government.
Meanwhile, as per sources to Times Network, the CAG audit on Delhi's pollution reportedly highlights flaws, inaccuracies and non-compliance with standard norms. It also points out that monitoring stations fail to record accurate AQI data during critical periods. And to discuss this further, I'm going to be joined by our esteemed panel of guests. I'm Dr. Piyush Joshi, who is the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, and also Mr. Pradeep Mahaur, who is the BJP leader. Thank you so much for taking your time and joining us over here. I'm going to go across to you first, Dr. Piyush Joshi. Mr. Joshi, how do you look at what panned out today in the Delhi Assembly? Familiar scenes, but the only difference was that this time around the Aam Aadmi Party was sitting in the opposition. It was the Aam Aadmi Party MLAs who were marshalled out as opposed to the BJP MLAs that we had seen during the Kejriwal's government. But the fact remains that the CAG report was eventually tabled. The Speaker maintains that there was a lot of rumour that was speculated by the Aam Aadmi Party government that the CAG report was handed to the Speaker, which wasn't the case. What do you have to say about that?
Well, looking at the scenes which unfold today, I think that the Bharatiya Janata Party, in its own typical style, has chosen a negative start rather than a positive start. Be that as it may, the CAG report being tabled only vindicates the Aam Aadmi Party's stand, because what does the CAG report actually say? We will discuss that. We have discussed that for times immemorial in the past on various channels, including yours. When we have talked about the non-conforming zones, when we have talked about the loss of revenue because of delayed permissions, and delayed permissions by whom? By the DDA and the then Bharatiya Janata Party ruled municipal corporations. And DDA is reporting to Amit Shah. So that Aam Aadmi Party has been saying that all along, because it was because of the LG's order that to open the vents, which were almost 420 or 418 vents, which were to be opened in non-conforming zones, that the alleged loss of revenue happened. That's what we have been saying, and we have been blaming LG for the same. Also, the same policy says, I'll just brief it in in simplistic terms for the benefit of your viewers. It is not an actual loss of revenue. It is a loss of earning which could have been achieved had this policy being properly implemented. And the another loss of around 850 odd crores, the CAG goes on to say, is because of delayed retendering and failure in retendering. So it is basically the faulty implementation at the order and at the behest of the Lieutenant Governor that accounted for the loss of the 2,000 odd crores for the Delhi Exchequer. So our stand is vindicated. Now, as far as the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned, they do not respect Bhagat Singh's ideology. They do not respect Baba Saheb Ambedkar's ideology and henceforth the constitution. And what is the reason? Removing of the picture is just the icing on the cake. They passed this legislation which actually superseded the order of the constitutional bench of the Honorable Supreme Court, saying that apart from the three matters of land, law and order and policing, the government is going to be supreme. It was not an ordinary bench. It was not a 2-judge, 1-judge, 3-judge bench.
Okay.
It was a constitutional bench which passed the order, and the Narendra Modi government overruled it. Why? Because you wanted to obstruct the functioning of Aam Aadmi Party government, because the Aam Aadmi Party government is the only government which is going to give the primary healthcare model and education model, because you can't do that. If the policy is so bad, why it is
implementation is what you are saying, Mr. Joshi. And you are also maintaining that the Aam Aadmi Party's standpoint has been weighed in. You are asserting your point and saying that you have been vindicated. Now, Mr. Pradeep Mahaur, if the Aam Aadmi Party has been vindicated, and if it was the fault of the part of the central government, then what stopped the Aam Aadmi Party from tabling the CAG report in the assembly?
The main question is, they did not table it in the assembly, first. And second, now when it is tabled, they are creating a chaos and they do not want to discuss. What they are doing is, they are coming on the media, trying to justify themselves as if they are, very pure. If you're so pure, the place for discussion is assembly. Go there, discuss it. As simple as that. I just heard the spokesperson of Aam Aadmi Party. He said, instead of a positive start, Bharatiya Janata Party started with a negative note. How can it be negative? Tabling a CAG report, how can it be considered to be negative? Comptroller and Auditor General report has to be tabled every year. He brings out all the kinds of, accounting, whatever is happening, whatever government is doing. And that accounting and audit has been done by Comptroller and Auditor General. And that has to be tabled. So what is wrong in that? Why are you saying that it is a negative move? It is not at all a negative move. It is a positive move, rather. If you're so transparent, so you can justify yourself. Come to the assembly. That's a proper place to discuss and justify yourself. No, the thing is this: they are trying to run away because there are a lot of issues there. Lot of issues altogether. They are saying that this the change of policy has been done in order to make the revenue model better, right? So there was a loss of total 2,002.6 crore rupees, right? So that is a loss that happened. When this loss had happened, that simply says that revenue model was not improvised. So it was rather a loss to the government. So how does loss happen? If your policy was so well designed, then there should have been proper revenue generation to the government, which did not happen. The second thing is that even there is going to be a discussion on Sheesh Mahal as well. That is actually pinching them a lot, because as far as this case is concerned, this is already there in the court, and this CAG report at last ultimately it is going to be there in the court as such. So there has to be a discussion in the court. But as far as Sheesh Mahal is concerned, now it is a new point that is going to come, and there are some surprising data that is there. L-shaped sofa, 6.40 lakh. Who purchases a soap opera or 6
Well, Mr. Mahaur, you know, we are going to stick to what has already been tabled in the assembly. And today it was about the liquor policy. So we are going to stick to our discussion pertaining to liquor policy because we are putting across our graphics with all the details and key findings as far as the policy is concerned, whether it's a revenue loss, whether it's about the fact that the wholesalers with the retail stakes got licenses, no quality control labs, etc. You know what we are trying to ask you is that if there is no issues concerning the Aam Aadmi Party's implementation, Mr. Joshi, then why are you running away from a discussion? The assembly is in session. Is it a case of misplaced priority on your part? Because the BJP maintains that you are being a disruptionist. You are carrying out the hangama in the assembly when the CAG report is concerned. If you want to hold the BJP accountable, the place to do it is the assembly.
Well, you know, the assembly is one place and another is the people's court, you know. So both the places are there where Sir, I did not interrupt you. Sir, I did not interrupt you. So kindly have the decency to listen to me.
Yes, Mr. Mahaur, I'll request you to kindly cooperate over here. Mr. Joshi didn't interrupt when you were making a point.
So, you know, all I am saying that at both the places you are going to do that. But how does the House function? You know, the House functions in a proper manner when you have a non-partisan speaker. You heard the speaker speak himself, you know. Did he appear non-partisan at all? It was as if the honorable speaker has already made up his mind that Aam Aadmi Party is at fault, as if he is a spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party and not a non-partisan speaker. How do you expect, you know, we have seen the scenes in Uttarakhand Assembly where the speaker has told one of the MLAs of opposition कि यहाँ भाषण मत दीजिए, राजनीति का अखाड़ा मत बनाइए. अरे भाई, असेंबली में यदि चर्चा नहीं करना है, राजनीति का अखाड़ा यदि राजनीतिक बात असेंबली में नहीं रखना है तो कहाँ रखना है? So this is the way the speaker is functioning, whether let it be dysfunctioning of the legislature at central level or at state level. This is what we have seen happen time and again. As far as the liquor policy is concerned, whether Aam Aadmi Party is running away or not running away, let me give you an example. What is it there in the report of the Comptroller and Auditor General which says that the fault was in conforming zones? Tell me. It was only and only in the matter of non-conforming zones that the loss of revenue actually happened. And why did that problem arise? Why did that problem arise?
Okay, Mr. Joshi,
because
point taken. I have paucity of time. I will have to wrap this conversation. But before I wrap up, 60 seconds to you, Mr. Mahaur. Would you want to respond to the charge of how the speaker hasn't conducted himself in an impartial manner? The post that he holds demands him to not have a bias towards any political party.
He's completely unbiased. Whatever he stated is what he got from his office. There is a report that is generated in the speaker's office, and that report says that the CAG report was not tabled from last 5 years. So if it was not tabled from last 5 to 6 years, he has to say that. He cannot hide it. Nah? So either Aam Aadmi Party should come forward and say that it was tabled. Was it tabled? No, it was not. If it was not tabled, so he's completely right. He's completely unbiased. Why are you continuously trying to disrupt and claim that everybody else is wrong except Aam Aadmi Party? You know, this is what happened with you. You were trying to fool people, and finally, the people had the last instrument, that is their vote, and they voted you out. And this is the same thing you are repeating again. So now there is an assembly. Go there, discuss.
Okay, so people voted out the Aam Aadmi Party over corruption is what you are maintaining. But what Mr. Joshi was trying to say perhaps is that it wasn't required for the speaker to lead the charge against the Aam Aadmi Party when you had the entire cabinet present in the House. I have paucity of time. Thank you, Mr. Joshi and Mr. Mahaur, for taking our time and joining us over here at Mirror Now. We wrap this conversation over here, and it's time for a quick break. We are going to come back with lots more.